10 minutes this morning. I was like, I gotta stop. I can't look at this.
Joe Rogan just noticed a detail in 50 Cent's documentary that almost nobody considered. Because once you connect the clues, it appears the situation wasn't only about Diddy. After the announcement of Season 2 of 50's documentary, several major figures in the industry reportedly became concerned. And in this video, we will examine everyone Joe mentioned along with other powerful people linked to the controversy, beginning with Diddy and moving all the way upward.
There's also like people that are elites, and that's their thing. Like their thing is to do something that is horrible, and you know, it's not available to other people. So it's like, I think there's like a sickness that people have when they have power, like extreme power, and then well, what else can I do? What else can I do? What else is what else is taboo? What else is forbidden? Like all this Diddy shit coming out. Like
I was just gonna say, doesn't that sound topical?
Jesus Christ! The first day of the trial, did you pay attention to any of that stuff? I looked at it for like 10 minutes this morning, and I was like, I gotta stop. I can't look at this.
Well, what freaks me out is the people sitting in the courtroom listening to it.
Right.
And there's a wide spectrum of people that are getting subjected to it, and you just sit there and go,
yeah. Well, not only that, how about the fact that this guy was running this for decades? He was doing this for decades to who knows how many fucking people, and everybody was scared to talk about it because he'd have them killed.
You see, what many people overlook is the scale of influence Diddy held and the level of individuals he associated with. If you pause and examine the clues, you notice Diddy wasn't merely another music producer. He interacted with some of the most powerful figures worldwide and across several countries. 3 different U.S. presidents and vice presidents, including Barack Obama, Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, and Kamala Harris, were photographed at Diddy's gatherings. He also had connections involving members of the British royal family.
That's for not sweating, but I do this so much. I'm so cool. I just want y'all to see everybody I'm interviewing is sweating. I'm not even touching my brow. I'm so cool. And I want to apologize. I ain't trying to make you look bad or nothing like that, but I'm just so cool.
We wearing a t-shirt. I tell you, if he was wearing one of those fancy designer clothes he's designing, he'd be sweating just like me.
The guy's good. The guy's good, y'all. Let's give it up for him.
I appreciate you guys.
Peace.
I love Diddy. You know, he's a good friend of mine. He's a good guy. I think he's a good guy. I'm going to stick up for him.
Not anymore. After over a year behind bars, Diddy reportedly requested a White House pardon, and Donald Trump has refused his request directly.
I have a lot of people who have asked me for pardons. I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years.
Yes, that comes directly from the president, who told the New York Times on Wednesday the request arrived in a letter. Specific details of the alleged message were not revealed. However, Trump stated he does not intend to reduce the mobile sentence. He did not explain his reasoning, but said the decision is something he has considered for months. Here is what he shared with reporters during Diddy's lengthy trial in May.
He used to really like me a lot. I don't know. I would certainly look at the facts. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact.
Reports of the rejected pardon surfaced about a month after Diddy's attorneys filed an appeal against his conviction and sentence. Some observers argue it wasn't coincidence that Diddy maintained friendships with influential figures, suggesting he intended to use those relationships as leverage. Now consider which name repeatedly appears in discussions. Jeffrey Epstein, a convicted trafficker. Both Epstein and Diddy were linked to powerful elites. Yet when legal proceedings occurred, few additional individuals were formally identified. Are we supposed to believe Diddy hosted gatherings for high-profile guests, but none were involved in wrongdoing? That question keeps circulating. So who were the individuals Epstein and Diddy were actually connected with or possibly working alongside behind the scenes?
Diddy's going to be in jail for the rest of his life. I think he's probably going to get.
Think he's
hit up.
saying though?
I don't know. I don't even think it matters. I mean, it's a lot of it is.
But then it's just another Epstein. It's not Ghislaine Maxwell, where there's somebody indicted and nobody else indicted for kids to.
Right. To no one. Right. We're like, what is the next crazy thing that's going to explode in the news? Is Bill Clinton's going to have an OnlyFans? Like, what is going to happen? What is the next thing that's going to make us all go, what the what the is going on?
It's coming. You know,
how many guys were on video saying, ain't no party like a Diddy party? How many people like openly talked about being there?
LeBron?
Yeah, how Ashton Kutcher, all these people. Like, you guys all went. You didn't see nothing? You didn't see nothing?
Yeah.
This isn't simply a random claim. Stories about Diddy possibly acting as an informant using his status have circulated for years. Suge Knight has been incarcerated for a long time and said many people in the streets suspected Diddy of cooperating. His conduct and the alleged way he pressured individuals for secrets made others suspicious about his motives.
How does it go on for so long? You know, when we were on the street, we didn't get a day's rest. I mean, the government was all over us. The FBI is all over us. They got investigations on us. They got informants. They got surveillance equipment.
He was not cutting you up, but he was an informant for years.
Was he really?
Yeah. That's why when people was like, oh, he's going to run, oh, he's not. It's the reason why these type of people get caught up. They always been telling they bigger than the law because they part of the law, you know? And as you know, all these people get tarred.
This may only be the beginning. The individual closest to Diddy during much of his career, the person who claimed to witness interactions with officials, was Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard. Gene said he saw events firsthand and believed Diddy acted as a confidential informant connected to federal authorities. According to him, Diddy's confidence came from feeling protected, not simply fame. He wasn't seen as untouchable because of influence, but because he was considered valuable. As long as he continued providing information, authorities allegedly had little incentive to pursue him. That is what some observers think people overlook. They argue Diddy and Jeffrey weren't ordinary criminals, but connected to larger interests beyond themselves.
They'll let you do crimes, long as you don't do no murders and stuff like that. They'll let you go around and pay you to protect him. You understand? To protect him. We had a lot of people on the payroll when we was doing security. Everybody had, somebody might have this first 10 hours, that 10 hours, or whatever. He was paying law enforcement. He had a budget for law enforcement. Now, if something goes wrong, those people got friends in certain places. Then, plus, he tells his handler, yo, can you make this go away for me? I'll give you this and that. Now, that could be a lot of speculations or whatever like that. But why would you have or be working for an FBI agent if you're not an informant? Why? So when you got that kind of money, you could hire people to make a lot of things go away for you. Like you hire lawyers. Those lawyers have police officers and people working for them and investigators. Those investigators were former officers. So all of them in the backyard in Diddy bed together.
Joe Rogan described what he believed was Diddy's entire strategy. After watching 50 Cent's documentary, the pieces finally connected in a way few expected. Some witnesses in Diddy's trial gave sworn testimony claiming other individuals were present during the events, yet no additional names appeared in court. How could that happen? Rogan compared it to the same pattern he noticed with Jeffrey, saying the similarities seemed almost identical.
He was rogue, or did he was like a Epstein type, working for somebody?
That's a good question. Well, it would be a great way to compromise celebrities. Yeah. And get them to say whatever you want them to do, get them to do whatever projects you'd like them to do. And, you know, if you're a bunch of other celebrities are there, you're like, oh, look, Bill Clinton's here. This is fine.
Yeah.
This is cool. Look at this. Like, Brad Pitt's here. Oh, this is cool. You don't even think there's anything wrong with being there. Meanwhile, you're getting drugged up and filmed. And then they're passing out punch. Have some punch, Aaron. And you have some punch, and all of a sudden you're like, I'm feeling really good. I just feel amazing. You're all mollied up. You don't know what the f*** you're doing. Probably a combination of things they give you.
And it's all being filmed.
Crazy. Now, if that's not an intelligence agency operation, it's just one evil super genius who figures out how to compromise everybody by providing this crazy freak off party. Everybody's got to put their phones away. Okay, we're going to put our phone away. No one's going to know anything. Yeah, I mean, he's got cameras everywhere. It's just one guy doing that. What a diabolical human being.
Yeah.
He seems pretty diabolical.
He's probably working with somebody or for somebody.
Maybe.
This is where the story becomes even more serious. Diddy was allegedly not only connected to gathering information, but also linked to violent actions. When influence failed, some claim intimidation or force followed, and supporters say 50 Cent's documentary suggests this. The cases of Tupac and Biggie are often cited by commentators as examples tied to these claims.
There was always so much East Coast, West Coast shit that's still like in the zeitgeist, you know, like with Biggie and Tupac, and they were all hating at each other, and they both got. There was a lot going on. And then there's people that thought that Puffy was involved and Suge Knight was involved.
Speaking of, I think Suge Knight's the one who said that thing I just thought of.
What thing?
About that they were there to delete stuff.
Well, if he really was filming everybody.
Let me see.
I mean, he had a lot of people at those parties, right? You know who said Luke from 2 Live Crew?
Yeah, he said he was to leave early.
Yeah, when Luke from 2 Live Crew is leaving early, like, you got a wild party. If what's happening is too fucked up for Luke from 2 Live Crew? Like, check, please. There's so many different stories. Who knows?
Some claim Diddy warned Tupac and even arranged attempts against him twice. The first incident reportedly occurred nearly 2 years before Tupac's death. On November 30th, 1994, Tupac was robbed and shot several times inside the lobby of Quad Recording Studios in Manhattan during a late-night session. The official police report described it as a robbery, yet none of Pac's jewelry was taken. Tupac later said in an interview he believed Diddy was connected to the shooting. Many argue that if someone is attacked and nothing is stolen, it may not be robbery, but a coordinated setup instead.
You think Puffy was involved in the shooting?
Only they can answer that question. Right. I have my own opinion, but I wouldn't slander their name like they did mine. Right. I wouldn't say things that I knew. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I believe so. I do believe so. I have proved things that I can say that will back up my claim, but this is not for the world to know about. Right. You know what I mean? It's between me and him, and only he knows. Right. So every time he say it didn't happen, or that's the only thing that makes this become an issue to everybody. Because you seen what I said in the Vibe article. I basically bowed out and was going to go ahead about my life. The next issue, that wasn't even the next issue, because them cowards waited about 4 issues before they got their story together. 4 issues later, half of New Yorkers commenting on me getting shot. And before, they was all like, we didn't see nothing. In the first issue, read it, Vibe viewers. Nobody seen shit. The 4th issue, when they came back with a reply, everybody knew what I did. They knew what I said. I was acting. Who gets shot 5 times in acts? Oh, I didn't get shot 5 times in their vision. I only got shot once because they found the bullet. The police found it, but now they the cops. Now they doing detective work. They found the bullet. Oh, you found the bullet, huh? So what is this other shit in me then? What was the doctors talking about? What? Can you explain these other holes in me? How'd I get gunpowder all over me? That insulted my intelligence. So, yes, I did say Thug Life was there. Yes, I bowed out, all of that. But when they said that, they breathed new.
Tupac believed Diddy was connected and understood the message implied. Challenge me, and consequences follow. At the same time, Diddy avoiding responsibility seemed like a signal. I won't get caught regardless. Sadly, events unfolded that way. Nearly 2 years after the Quad Studios incident, on September 13th, 1996, Tupac died following a Las Vegas drive-by shooting. The tragedy reshaped hip-hop culture and shifted industry influence in ways many observers still discuss today.
I think my favorite thing about 50 Cent's Netflix Diddy documentary is how he built a timeline off of this information. And one of my favorite parts of this documentary is them really getting into the timeline of events when it comes to Tupac and Biggie. And it really gives us a lot of perspective from people that were close to the situation, and a lot of people allege in this documentary that they believe believe that Diddy was very jealous of Tupac. And they pretty much go through everything from the quad incident and Tupac believing that Puffy was behind it, like he said in the Vibe interview. And they lay out this whole timeline of the downfall happening perfectly, in my opinion. We are even hearing from Greg Kading, the detective that worked on Tupac and Biggie's case in this documentary. He is the investigator that did that proffer agreement with Keefe D way back in 2008, where Keefe D alleged that Diddy tried to offer him $1 million to take out Tupac and Suge Knight. And Tupac's trial with Keefe D is coming up very soon in early 2026. And we know that Diddy's name has been dropped at least 200 times during these proceedings already. So this is one case that I am definitely waiting for and I am going to cover. In Keefe D's 2008 proffer agreement, he alleged that Diddy's friend Zip Martin is the one that gave him the weapon that was used to take out Tupac. And Keefe D told the investigator Greg Kading that Zip Martin had a special compartment to keep this weapon in his car that he drove to Las Vegas. And in this documentary, we have Greg Kading confirming that Zip Martin did drive the same type of vehicle that Keefe D alleged to Las Vegas this night. And then during this documentary, we heard from the former president of Bad Boy, Kirk Burroughs, who alleged during this time, Diddy had him hiring a whole bunch of people and getting cars to drive to Las Vegas. And he is now very curious into why Diddy wanted to do this. And he said, in his opinion, he now believes that Diddy was behind taking out Tupac.
50 Cent's documentary didn't just give Joe Rogan information. It showed him what was allegedly happening. The film included witness accounts and video material investigators reportedly didn't have. Now a renewed review into Tupac's death has begun. Tupac's family hired attorney Alex Spiro to examine the claims and footage. An officer who originally worked on the Tupac case also commented, saying they expected a full investigation to reopen soon.
Following new developments in the case of the hip-hop mogul who is facing RICO charges in New York, Sean P. Diddy Combs, Court TV has just confirmed that the family of Tupac Shakur is investigating a potential link between the of Tupac and Sean Diddy Combs. This coming from attorney Alex Spiro, who represents Tupac's family. Now, this investigation had been previously reported by unnamed sources, but earlier today, Spiro confirmed to our Court TV team that he and a team of investigators has been hired.
Sean Combs allegedly had business dealings with Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, who will go on trial next March for the murder of Tupac. This was back in 1996. Some have speculated that Diddy ordered Tupac's death. That, of course, is just a theory at this point, and we are monitoring the developments in both the Tupac trial and the federal indictment of Sean Diddy Combs. So a lot of information to come on that one.
I get it. When you have a case that's 5 years old, it's hard to get overwhelming evidence that meets the burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. When you have cases this old, no matter what Fiddy has found out and put in this documentary, do you see it at all ever possible that Diddy could be involved in a trial when it comes to Biggie and Tupac?
It could be possible, yes. However, like I said, they need a lot of corroboration to make that stick, because it's really alleged right now as to his involvement. It's not anything that's substantial or concrete that he was involved. It's personally from people talking about it and saying this is what happened. You need some more information to come forward to prove that.
Jaguar Wright, long associated with Jay-Z and Diddy, publicly said what others avoided saying. She claimed Diddy's celebrity allies and political contacts have distanced themselves from him. At this stage, she argues Diddy has become a scapegoat for broader issues in the entertainment industry. According to her, others are placing blame on him while denying involvement. She believes Diddy now stands alone and his career is effectively over.
They did what they needed to do in this documentary. The whole objective of this documentary was to blame it all on Diddy. The devil made me do it, blame it all on Diddy, and the rest of the industry is nothing like this. Like when Curtis Jackson sat there in his interview with Robin and sat there and said, I did this because I don't want people thinking that the hip hop community is okay with this kind of behavior. You know, I don't want them thinking that, you know, we're just going to be silent while all of this is going on. Like, we're okay with this kind of behavior. And my thing is huh? So now you speaking for all of hip hop, and all of hip hop is uncomfortable with this. Meanwhile, you got people like Ja Rule who, on the low key, allegedly, Gene Deal has exposed for having his own nude tryst freak-offs.
And then there's the spiritual angle of the story. Some claim powerful figures crave control and humiliation. Critics describe Diddy as deeply immoral overall.
That's really wild, man. Evil is a real thing, you know? Nobody wants to believe, because if you believe in the devil, right? If you believe in Satan, you believe in something that's silly. Like most people believe, a lot of people believe in God. If you ask people, do you believe in God? Yeah, well, I'm not religious, but I believe in God. Okay, well, do you believe in the devil? Most people will say no. But do you believe in evil acts? Well, yeah, well, people certainly do evil things. Well, where do you think that comes from? If evil is real, what is it about us that makes us want to deny the possibility that there's some nefarious force that is in human beings, that influences human beings? It's not as simple as like some people are bad, some people are good. No, maybe evil is a real element that you have to fight in life. And that maybe this is just something that's been documented all throughout history, but our arrogance and our secular society wants to keep us from recognizing that as an actual factor. And that's why it gets through.
Joe Rogan didn't only analyze Diddy's case. He pointed out a broader pattern. And once 50 Cent's documentary presented the details, it seemed the situation extended beyond a single person. The bigger question now is who else might soon be revealed?